This is related to internal controls. Okay, this is little bit more specific, very specific as such. Okay, how we have to think in terms of 84222. Is it? We are talking about internal controls. Now you will understand the real facts behind this. What are the mechanism behind internal controls? The use of internal control systems by the auditors, how you are going to evaluate the components, and more importantly, internal controls in a computerized environment. Okay, internal controls in a computerized environment. These are the things, these are the topics which we have to be very, very focused as such. Okay, now only specifically document will cover about internal only specific. What is the control environment? Is that this is very, very, very important topic. Very, very important. I am putting 2 star marks. Okay, now you can understand how important it is. Is that explain why auditor needs why there is a need to have understanding of internal control activities relevant to. If you are doing inventory, what is the importance of inventory? What are the internal controls of inventory? We are specifically talking about one activity. If we are saying we are doing audit for non-current assets, property, plant and equipment, what are internal controls specific for property, plant and equipment? What are the internal controls for inventory? What is the internal controls for cash? Is that what are the internal means? We are talking about very specifically with respect to each and every category. Okay, describe and explain. These are the 5 components. Is it 5 components? See, I will say very clearly. If you add it all the marks in the end. It will be plus or minus 100. It will be 100, 110. It will be in that range. It will be in that range. Precisely each and every chapter I am focusing on that minimum. Is that minimum 4 to 6 marks? Okay, 4 to. What are the 5 components? Memorize this. When I say memorize, memorize. When I say understand, understand means you have the flexibility to write in your own words. Memorization, there is no flexibility. What are the things? The first one, these are the 5 components of internal control systems. The control environment, the risk assessment process, the information systems, including business process, relevant financial reporting and communication. 4th one, control activities relevant to the audit, and the 5th one is monitoring of controls. Memorize this. Okay, when I'm saying I'm putting it very, very clearly. Is it right? Memorize this. The control environment, risk assessment process, information systems, including business, how the business process will work, relevant to reporting and communication, reporting to financial reporting and communication. Is that? That's all. And what are the control activities relevant? What are the controls about cash, for inventory, for property, plant and equipment, how the controls will work, and how we are going to monitor the control. These are the things we will cover. Explain how auditors record internal control. See, they will record internal, they will have the internal control manual, but even as an auditor, we will record internal controls. When you are recording internal controls, there are 3 different ways. One is narrative notes. You have writing in the note format. One we will follow in the form of flow charts. The third one we are talking about, you have internal control questionnaires. Yes or no controls is available. The next is internal control evaluation questionnaires. These are 2 different things. Okay, One, we are talking in terms of internal control questionnaires, ICQ. The second one we are talking about ICEQ, internal evaluation, internal control questionnaire. We will say yes or no. In the internal evaluation questionnaire, we will say if it exists or not exists, we evaluate. Is it? There is good difference between these two. Okay, we will do this. Again, I'm saying one is narrative notes. I will write with different marker. Okay, one is narrative notes. Is it right? One is flow charts. One is internal control questionnaires and internal control evaluate questionnaires. Okay, these are the four things. Evaluate internal, what are the components, including deficiencies, significance and deficiencies of internal. See, they will give you a scenario based question. Is it right? They will give you a scenario based question, mostly in section B. Okay, in section B, they will ask you to identify the deficiencies. Is that they ask you to identify deficiencies and they ask you to give suggestions or recommendations. Is it right? They will give this. If you see the old question papers, it is going to be part of this activity. Okay, they will give you the scenario. They will ask you to identify the deficiencies and suggest or recommend. It's easy question. Easy. I'm saying easy means easy. Straightforward question. There is no complications. Understand? When I say this, discuss the limitations of internal control components. Okay, how many components are there? 5 components. Now, once we come back from the break, I will ask you anything. Every day, I will ask you questions for 5 or 10 minutes with everyone. Okay, we have to pass. That is our objective. Okay, limitations of component. Now, what you are doing, you have seen now the concept is quite different. Okay, that this is transformation going on. Okay, discuss computer system controls. There are 2 things. One is general controls, IT information technology controls. The second one is application controls. Okay, you have general controls are there, you will have application controls. Discuss and provide examples. How you have discussed and provide how the reporting of internal controls, significant deficiencies. This is the question they will ask. Is it right? This is the exam topic. I will put like very clearly. This is the exam topic. Is that they will ask significant deficiencies and recommendations. You have to give recommendations to overcome these significant deficiencies and provide to the management. Fine. Next, describe why smaller entities may have different control environments, and describe the type of evidence likely to be available for smaller entities. Smaller entities, definitely there is bigger entity size. Okay, bigger size, listed companies, non-listed companies. Okay, smaller entities, what are the issues, what are the problems, and how we should not ignore them. We have to provide solutions for the smaller entities. Discuss the difference between, again see the thing, what is the test of controls and substantive procedures. Now you can understand, if they are repeating this much, how important it is. Now it is not only we are not covering anything new. We are just revising from now onwards. Okay, we are just revising from now onwards. What is the internal control? You have internal control systems, use of internal controls by the auditors, and you have computer system controls. When we say internal control, what is the responsibilities of the management and what is the responsibility of the auditor? This will be there everywhere, the responsibility of the management and the responsibility of the, and whenever you have internal control system, there is a documentation. In writing is very important, is right? In writing is very important. When you do the thing, what are the examples of internal control and what are the limitations of internal control? You have general controls, you have application. General IT controls, okay? General IT controls. You have application controls means, general controls means that will be at the beginning, okay? That will be at the beginning. IT application control means for inventory. What are the controls? For NCA, non-current assets, for cash, especially for the cash purchases, what are the controls? Is that you have to work it on that. In the examination, they will not say directly as general controls or application controls, but they will ask specifically with application controls. Fine. Now, we are still here only. Okay, we are talking about test of controls. If the test of controls are unsatisfactory, we have to do substantive procedures. If it is satisfactory, we will do restrictive procedures. Is that? This is the basic things. Coming back to the core concept. Is it? Coming back to the core. You will know now we have very clear idea by the time we are going to start this topic. Is that? What it says, it is a process designed and affected by whom internal control is the responsibility of the management. It is the responsibility of the management charged with governance and other persons. Why we are doing internal controls? What is the person? You have to give an assurance, reasonable assurance. Again, we are not going to say that it is a complete assurance, is it? We are giving a reasonable assurance about the achievement of entities' objectives. What is the assurance we are giving? We are giving an assurance that the financial financial reporting is reliable. We are giving an assurance about the achievement of the entity objectives with regard to the reliability of financial reporting. Definitely, when you are putting internal controls, the reliability will increase. Is it? And effectiveness and efficiency of operations. Is that? That's the reason we are receiving cash. There is some procedures. I can put like that. There is some procedures. You are making payments. Procedures, inventory procedures. You are receiving inventory, there is a procedure. You are placing an order, there is a procedure. Is that? You are counting the inventory, there is a procedure. Is that? Everywhere, every other place, there will be an audit procedure. Is that? With respect to effectiveness, efficiency of operations, and with respect to compliance. Is that? We have to follow the laws and regulations also. Whether rules and regulations has been followed. Again, you will say there should be a control. That is the reason you will have in every organization, you will have a compliance department. Compliance department will always monitor whether we are following the rules and regulations. That is another aspect of internal control. Is that? Now, straight away, we are not going to work out on any other thing. Straight, you are an audit senior. Now your position will also change. Getting my point? Your position is also changed. Audit senior. Responsible for the Supreme Food Limited, food company. A company which runs a chain of fast food service stores. Is it right? Fast food stores. Fast food is nothing but what we are talking about. Isn't just drive-through. Okay, drive-through. All the drive-throughs are fast foods. Okay, go and The major risk in the industry is always related to the food quality, which might result in damage claims by customers. Is that if there is any qualities, anything is happening on the food quality? See, food industry legal claims are very high. Okay, if you claim with a sufficient evidence, you can claim in really in a good amount of financial in money factor. Is it right? If you have a good evidence that something has been wrong in the food provided by the food outlet, what control should the company have in place to reduce risk associated with purchase of food and preparation in the kitchen? Is that in one of the question papers they have not mentioned this, but they have mentioned about the food products. Is that now when you see the thing, possible controls which will be used to reduce this, I will come to this. Is that you are running a food chain. Okay, you are running a food chain. Definitely, what you will do, you will have your own. Is it? You will have your own checklist. Is it? You will have your own checklist. Fine. You will talk about when you have purchased, when you have prepared. Is it right? Till when it can be consumed. Is it right? When it can be consumed, who are the quality check supervisors? Is it? You have the quality check supervisors. Likewise, supervisors, you will see what is the packing date, what is the expiry date. Is it right? You will randomly check. Is that you are randomly, you will if it is a cold, it is a frozen foods. Okay, it is a frozen foods, even you will check temperature. Is that these are the things? Is that this is the reality? I'm not saying this is the reality what you are doing. Everything should be in perfection. Otherwise, what will happen? If food inspectors will come and check, if even a small thing is not in place, is it right? Even the small thing is not in place, they will put heavy fines. Okay, food inspectors. Now you can understand the way it has been situated. Very interesting thing. What they are saying? They are saying that possible what are the controls which could be used to reduce the risk associated with purchase of foods and its preparation. See, what is the question they are asking? They are saying that they are talking about two things. Is it right? They are talking about with respect to purchase of food, the inputs. Okay, purchases of the food inputs, and with respect to preparation or in the kitchen. List of suppliers, very important. Is it right? List of suppliers are very important. You have to place the orders from the list of the registered suppliers only. We cannot place the order from XYZ. Okay. Now, what it says when you are talking about the reduce the risk in the examination, you have to do like this only. Is right? Overall authority for food purchasing should be in the hands of whom? A designated person. That who have to place the orders? A responsible person has to place the order. Okay, designated, responsible to ensure that food purchase is as per the quality. Any doubt anywhere it is there, just you ask me. Then it is in the simple English, very simple English. You can write in your own words. Overall authority for food purchasing should be in the hands of a designated or responsible person, so that ensure that the food is purchased about the quality. Second one, there should be a approved list of suppliers. Anyway, this is where it happens. It happens whenever you are talking about purchases. It is a standard statement, standard recommendation that you have to anytime, anywhere, we have to see that it is approved list of suppliers to ensure that food comes from the sources known to meet the quality standards. When you are placing the order, you have to place the order from the approved supplier list. Done. That is the second one. Third one, when food is received, that's very important. Whether it is meat, they are just, see, that just, this is all imagination, okay? This is all imagination how it will work, is it right? When food is received, whether fish, meat, vegetable, any food, is it right? It should be carefully inspected by informed people. When you are receiving the food, is it right? You have to verify, is it right, that it has been inspected including responsible from the food. Means you should not inspect by one person. It should be inspected by two different authorized persons. This is a internal control. There are two people have to segregation of duties. Is it right? Including the what we have to, including the responsible for food preparation, because you have two, one is purchases, one is from the purchase department, is it right? One is from the purchase department, the second one is from the preparation department. So that there should not be any point of discussion. For food, ensure that food received is of desired quality and the quantity. Now, once you have received the any inventory, anything, is it right? What you have to know, that you have to sign GRN. You can write GRN or you can write goods received note. Whenever you receive goods received note, should be signed to provide, why we are doing this, to provide the evidence of receipt and inspection. In the goods received note, we will sign, yes, it has been received. Is it right? It has been received, it has been inspected. Is that they will put a stamp, yes, it has been received, stamp, signature. It has been inspected, stamp and signature. Is that goods received note? Whenever we receive anything, whenever we are receiving, when we are placing the order, we put goods received note. Okay, this now you can understand. Okay, this I am very slow here because I know if I am slow, I will be more productive. Okay, I will be more effective. Okay, if I go fast, I will not be effective. In future, I don't want to put that much effort. Goods received note. Okay, whenever we are receiving, it has to be signed by two people. One is by the person who is receiving and one is the person who is inspecting. Food purchase should be kept in a clear place and refrigerated if necessary to ensure that it retains the quality. You have to, in the designated place. Okay, I will put like this. You can write this also. The food purchase should be kept in a designated place. Place where it has been authorized to keep. We should not keep food somewhere and we say that okay, after some time we'll keep at the, no. Immediately it has to be put in a designated or refrigerated place. Why we are putting that? So that the quality of the food should not get deteriorated. Is that the quality should not get deteriorated. Fine. There should be a strict adherence to use of dates. Okay, very strict. They are using the word. Is it right? To ensure that food of the highest quality is prepared. Date is very important. Everywhere you see the thing. Any food items you are doing, any food, even you are talking about the cake, you are talking about the anything. What will have? You will have two things. One is they are like this, P and E. Okay, this is the packing date. This is the expiry date. You take the milk, you have packing and expiry date. Everywhere you have, even you take the water bottle. You see the water bottle. In the water bottle, on the water bottle, they will say packing date and expiry date. is that there should be a person in the company who is responsible for health and safety. Nowadays, is it right? Everywhere you will have HSE, health, safety, and environment. Is it health, safety, and environment? This is part of today's regulations, compliance. You should have health, safety, and environment inspectors, supervisors. In most of the companies, you have a separate department. Is that in most of the companies they have separate department. You have the director. That much importance is there. Is that to ensure that the health and safety standards are adhered to. This is not an exhaustive. Means there are some more. You may have thought other controls of the company could have in place. Is that could have in place? Means these are the things what we are doing. Again, see the thing. This again sequence is important. Okay. There should be a designated when you are placing the order. It has to be placed by designated person. It has to be placed in the approved suppliers. When it has been received, it has to be received. Two different people should be informed. One is the person to receive and one is the person who will inspect. Is it? Next, once you have received it, then you have to keep it in a proper place. Okay, designated place. Once you have keeping in the proper, you should keep watch on the packing and expiry date. Okay, and who is the responsible? The overall responsibility for the health it should be with some again from with a designated person. You understand? The only thing I am teaching you is sequence. The only thing in examination you will write. Once you write, remember me that once you have done, revise it. The moment you find sequence, just you can do it. It is a computer-based examination. Copy and paste and put it in the order. Okay, copy. We will practice only this all through the next till examination. Are you clear about this?
So we would have this type of question in the exam, right?
Yes. Similar questions. Is that similar question? Similar. But see, not a single question will be repeated. Understand, man? Never. You will never come across, but similarity will be there. Is it clear to you all? Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Laila and Abdul Majid.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now. Okay, fine. Yeah, very simple. Simple, very focused. Nothing is there. Okay. Why do auditors
Yes,
need?
sir.
Yeah. Why do auditors need to understand what is the requirement? Is it because what is the requirement? Because you can why you are doing. Is there any potential misstatements? Maybe in future something will happen. Is there misstatements in terms of potential and factors affecting risk? What are the risks? See, if you have good internal controls, is that you are having internal. Now you go back to a situation. If you have everything in place, definitely the material misstatement will be less. The risk will be less. Okay, the risk will be less. You are having controls. You are having controls at every stage. Is that you have controls every stage you are verifying. Every stage you are following the rules. Every stage you are adherence to the laws. When you are doing the things, definitely when you follow these procedures, the possibility of risk will be very, very less. Okay, when you follow the thing, you have to design nature, timing, and extent of audit procedures. Is that now what happens? You have controls are there, effective controls are there. Is that controls are there? You have effective controls are there. Then you will not do full substantive procedures. What you will do procedures, but you will do restricted substantive procedures. You will do procedures at any point. Procedures will not be skipped. Okay? You will do depending on them. What it says, IS 315. Identify and assess the risk of material statement through understanding of entity and its environment. See, this is why you say we have to understand the entity and the environment. Okay? When you understand the environment, we will see, you are going for an audit. Immediately you will see how committed are the staff, how committed they follow the rules and regulations, how their controls are there. Immediately, with a split of second, I can say this. With this, you can observe the body language. Can observe the way they are doing. You can observe the way they respond to your queries. You can assess, yes, these people, this organization is very perfect. These organization controls are very effective. Automatically, you can sense that. Okay, automatically you can sense that. That is the reason we have to understand the entity and its environment. What it says, see that if internal controls are good, I can say internal controls are effective. The auditor can rely on them and base their audit work on test of controls, and therefore reduce the amount of substantive procedures required. Is it? And reduce the amount of it. Definitely, if internal controls are effective, we can rely on the internal controls if they are effective. If internal controls are not effective, cannot rely on them, and they have to do what? Fully substantive procedures. Is that? They have to do fully substantive procedures. There are 5 components of internal control. Control environment, risk assessment process, information system for financial reporting, control activities, and monitoring of controls. What is the control environment? Is it? What is the framework within which control operates? It includes governance and management function. See, internal control is not at one level. Okay, if you take this as an organization pyramid, you have senior management, you have middle management, you have lower management, and at the top you will have board of directors. Is that the internal control should be at every stage? Is that it should be there at the senior level, should be there at the middle level, it should be there at the operation level also. It includes the governance and management functions. Nobody is spared. Is it right? Even the topmost senior management is not going to say that we are not within the framework of internal control. What happens? Governance and control function. What is the attitude, approach, how you are aware about the controls, and most importantly, what are the actions of those charged with governance. 3 things are very important. The attitude, the approach, awareness. You should be aware about controls, and what are the actions you are doing. And the management concern the internal controls and importance of internal. See, management has to give weightage to the internal controls. That is the reason what we do, we'll say that it is the leadership. It is the leadership. Leadership at every level. Head of the department head will be there. He has to make sure that controls are effective. Sometimes we'll get irritated. Why we are doing so many times? Why we are putting the things again? They will say that they will reject. They will not reject. They will ask you to do corrections. We will get irritated. Fact is, as a matter of fact, we get irritated that we are doing and it is not going to accept it. No, They want perfection. If you are doing first time you are doing something, the second time you will repeat the same thing. Is that the why? That is the reason they give importance for internal controls. Again, I am repeating it. It includes governance and management functions. Okay, governance is at the top, is it right? And management functions, three different levels regarding attitudes, awareness, and actions. Okay, and how the leader, how the board of directors will devise the policies according to that will be implemented. Is it right? If the CEO is very specific, everyone will adhere to the rules and regulations. If there is any deviation is there, definitely the implementation will not be that much effective. And management concern the internal controls and important. We also feel that yes, these are important things. Auditor must understand the control environment. We want to know what is the control. Control environment is nothing but we are following the sequence or not. As simple as that. Is that control environment is there means what if there is anything we have been received, goods received, note. Definitely one person is there to make it as they have received it. One person is a person who is specialized, who is authorized. They are going to inspect it. This is the control environment. Is that you are placing the order? Definitely. Are we placing the order? A responsible person is placing the order. Okay. The responsible person is placing the order of list of approved suppliers. Fine. That automatically there is a effective control. Is that if there is automatically there is a effective control. Control is effective because a responsible person is placing, and it has been we are placing the orders to a registered approved suppliers. Means controls are effective. Okay, that's why I must understand the control environment and can affect the risk of material misstatements. Then automatically material misstatements will be less. Okay, now I will give you a additional work. Okay, additional work. You will have technical articles. Is it? Technical articles. Technical articles are the articles which will reflect the understanding what we have done, learned here. Yeah, what we have learned here. Whenever you are doing ACCA exam, technical articles, read. I am not saying seriously. I am telling very clearly. Casually you read, but you have to read it. Is that when you read it, you will get what they are asking for. In audit, if you go to your login page, if you go to your canvas or your home page, in your login home page, you will have audit and assurance. In that, there is one caption will be there, icon will be there, technical articles. In technique, you should read technical articles, and is it right? See, this is you have to read simple reading. You have technical articles and you have examiners feedback. Make it sure by the end of this month. I am giving you sufficient time. Don't rush. Take your time. Don't rush that you have to read today only or no. No, I am giving by end of this month. I will say end of this month, and I know by end of May 15th. Is it? One day you allocate for this. Only one day. You allocate for technical articles, you allocate for examiner. Then you can know what we have to do, what we should not. There are always, in examiner's feedback, there is always a do's and don'ts. Is it? These are the things which you should be very clear about this. Is it? What is the control environment in detail? Okay. You have the communication and enforcement of integrity and ethical values. Yeah, when we are talking about, see, control means communication of enforce. You have to enforce. Is that control environment is nothing but just should not be on paper. Whatever the rules and regulations are there, they're using the word. Okay, they are using the word enforcement. Is that they're using the word enforcement. Essential the requirements which influence the effectiveness. Is that which influence the effectiveness of the design, how we have planned, how we are going to administer, implement, and how you are going to monitoring of controls. How you plan controls, how you are going to implement controls, and how not only implement, you should also monitor that yes, these controls has been implemented. The first one is that communication or inform. You should not only see, you have to keep them informed. You have to orient them. You have to make them awareness about these are the controls. These are the things you should follow. That is the first point. Commitment to competence. Is it? Management consideration of competence levels. Okay, see, these are the things. This is basically we are reading, we are learning this, but it will be there mostly in application. Application means scenario based. Okay, commitment to competence levels for particular jobs. See, you are talking about a food inspector. Is that food inspector? Food inspector is not a general position, it is a specialized position. Is that food inspector? Likewise, you are talking for particular how this translates with requisite skills and knowledge. Is that inventory? Inventory is also not a general job. Inventory manager is a specialist job. Purchases is a specialist job. Okay, but you have to know what you are purchasing. Specialized industry. That's what we have. We have to commit it to competence. Means you should have qualified people. Participation by those charged with governance. Whenever you are doing, see, it applies to auditor, it applies to management. Independence from management. You are doing your job. Understand? You are doing your job. Management interference should be less. They have been assigned you to do the job. Then you have to do the job with all integrity, objectivity. Is that you are not going to compromise on the quality issues. Is that you should have, once you are doing that, you should have a experience. Is that you should have an experienced stature. That means you have to do, you are doing the job with that much responsibility and accountability. Extent of involvement and scrutiny of activities. Is that how the things are scrutinized? You have seen people say that yes, you have cameras will be there. People are saying that why you are putting that. Now it is a common trend. Everywhere you will have control cameras. Everywhere you will have the control cameras in the parking lot also. Okay, if you take into consideration, you will have cameras on the roads also. Is it right? On the public roads also, they will have the cameras to track the movements. Okay, we don't know where it is there, but everything will be there. Now, wherever you are talking, they will scrutinize, scan the activities. Next, appropriateness of actions and interactions with internal and external auditors. The management has to see, the most important thing is people will take internal auditors, say they are appointed by the management, fine, okay, we can take it lightly. No, internal auditors as well as external auditors are equally committed and responsible to those charged with the governance. The external auditor should report to the people charged with governance. The internal auditors have been appointed by the people who are charged with governance. So both positions are equally important. If internal auditors are effective, automatically the task of external auditors will be more easy. Fine. What is the management philosophy? What management thinks about control environment? Is that approach to take and manage business risk. We have not covered business risk, is it right? We have covered audit risk. What are the three components of audit risk?
Inherent control and detection risk.
Inherent risk, control risk, and detection risk. Is it? Approach business risk. Definitely. See, you take the example of the food processing, food outlet. Okay, anything happens, is it right? It will come on the business risk will get affected. Any food joints. Okay, if any food joints, if there is a message that something happened wrong, something has been spoiled food, something happened here, this, there, and there, automatically what will happen? Definitely it will have impact on the management, and the business risk will increase. Okay, the business risk will increase. How the management philosophy, how the management take that into consideration. Attitudes and actions towards financial reporting. Is it? Attitudes and action. When you are reporting it, we have to make sure that you have to focus on material misstatements. Yeah, we have to focus on material misstatements. What is the risk? What is the errors? What are the frauds? Everything will come, whatever we have covered till now. And last, what we are doing, attitudes towards information processing and accounting functions and personal. Is it? We are very much concerned about data. Okay, we are very much concerned about the records. Okay, we are very much concerned about the records, how the accounting functions are working, how we are talking in terms of purchases. Everything will come whenever we are talking about how the transaction process. Understand what? From the transaction has been initiated till the transaction has been reflected in the financial statements, from the beginning, from the start to the finish. Is that means management commitment, management philosophy, management approach, it makes the difference. We are giving, see, if we are talking about internal controls, internal controls is it's a cost, it is a cost to the company, but what will happen? It will leads to the effective reporting also. Now, what is the organization structure? The framework within which the entity and activities for which achieving the objectives. Is that achieving the objectives of the presentation of the financial reporting in a planned, execute and controlled and reviewed. You have to plan internal controls, you have to implement or execute internal controls. Is that you have to make whether internal controls are effective or not, and you have to review internal controls for any improvements. Is that for any improvement? This is the organization structure, how it is going to be planned across the organization. Means it is not only one person job. Every person who is working in the organization is equally responsible for internal controls as per his designated position. Assignment of authority and responsibility. How authority and responsibility? See, you are giving authority, but there should be a responsibility also. You are giving authority. With authority there should be responsibility, and with responsibility what will happen? There should be an accountability also. You are giving an authority for a purchase manager to place the orders. Is that Once you are giving an authority to the purchase manager to place the orders, he is responsible to place the orders. Anything happen, he is accountable. Three things are there. Is it how authority and responsible for operating are assigned, and how reporting relationships and authorization hierarchies are established. You are giving authority to a purchase manager to perform the job. You have to give responsibility also. Means, yes, he has that independence. When you are talking about responsibility, he has to be independent. Is that once he is independent, whatever the actions he is going to take, he is accountable for that also. Is it? These are the things that matter. Human resource policies, recruitment, orientation, training, evaluation, is it? Compensation and remedial actions. Is it? I'm not focusing that much here in terms of what are the practices of policies and human resource policies and practices. Is it okay with this? Is it? Understand this. When we are saying understand, you can use it in applications. Okay? Understand means you can use it in application. What is the message you are going to get from is when you are talking about the internal controls, everyone is responsible for that. I have given some task, I am responsible for my task. And I have to do as per the requirements within the entity's regulation framework. Why? What it says, the auditors needs to obtain an understanding whether process are in place. What we are doing, we as an auditor, we want to understand whether it has been in place, whether things are moving accordingly, as simple as that. We are saying that we are talking about identifying business risk relevant to financial reporting. See, if there is any internal controls, is that in terms of, very clearly, in terms of quality issues. Everywhere you have quality control department. Everywhere you have quality checks will be there. Why we are having quality controls? Because if anything goes again wrong in the quality control, it will affect the business prospects. It will affect the business. That is the business risk. Is there anything which is affecting the business revenue, business goodwill, business reputation is a business risk. Is it? Identifying the risk with respect to reporting. Estimating the significance of risk. See, when what you are doing, if there are effective controls, is it right? Understanding the process. If effective controls are there, if the process is effective, is it? If the process is effective, what will happen? The risk will be less. Task will be easy, is it? And assessing the likelihood of their occurrence, whether it is occurring once in a while, okay, whether it is occurring once in a while or it occurring repeatedly. Is there once in a while? Fine. Once in a while also you will see what is the materiality. Is there once in a while also you have to see what is the materiality. We cannot say that yes, it's happening once in a while, but the amount, if the amount is high, then also it is a big question mark. Is that? You cannot say that yes, it happened once, but once in a while it happens with respect to 1 million. Then it's a big material factor. Is it right? So likelihood of their occurrence, how frequently it's happening. Deciding upon actions to address those risks. How you are going to come with a solution to solve those, to identify, to address the risk is to coming up with the solutions to overcome those risks in the future. Fine. This is what internal entity risk assessment process. This is point number 2. Point number 3. What
Sir.
is yes?
Sir, Leila is waiting in the
Hmm. Yes, please.
Sir, Leila is waiting in the lobby. She wants to join.
Thank you, Abdul Mugid. Fine. Now, what it says, see, we are doing internal controls. This is the basic. See, audit and assurance, I'm telling, these are the basic fundamentals. We are not making any application. It's a basic application. What it says, a component of internal control that includes the, see, ultimately we are talking about financial reporting. Okay, the end result is your financial statements. Okay, and in order to make the component a component of internal control that includes the financial reporting system consists of the procedures and records established. When you are saying records established, you are talking in terms of documentation. Every other thing as a part of the procedures, to initiate, to record, to process, is it, and to report entity transactions. Means whenever a transaction is happening, is it right? Whenever a transaction is happening, it should be initiated, it should be recorded, it should be processed. Is that, see what happens? You are talking in terms of when happen, you will have the first one is general entry. We should not say general entry is the first thing. Before that, you are placing the order. Is that, you are placing the order. That is where you are initiating. You are placing the order by responsible person. You are placing the order from the list of suppliers. Then what will happen? You are going through different phases. Then only you are going to receive the goods. Is that one? Then only you are going to receive the goods as such. Is that, means there will be phases. We should not only say that yes, it is the sale or it is a purchases. We should understand what is the process before sales, what is the process before purchases, what is the process during purchases, and what is the process after purchases. Is it? It has to be what we have done in the beginning. What we have done was that food example. What we have done, we have initiated. Okay, we have initiated, and we have said that there should be a, where we have ended. We have said that a responsible health and safety of person should be there to check. That is what we have initiated. After that, what will happen? The financial perspective will come into picture. You are going to once you are receiving the goods, you will record it. Once you are recording it, then there will be a process of payments. Is that, once you are having the process of payments, then you will, where we are going to report the entity transaction. You are reporting the entity transactions in where? In cost of sales. Is it? Now we are dividing this task. Okay, we are dividing the task. We are dividing the task in terms of placing the order. We are dividing the task in terms of inventory. Inventory, separate internal controls will be there. Sales, separate internal controls will be there. Cash collection, separate internal controls will be there. That is what we are doing. That is what we are talking in terms of information systems relevant to financial reporting. When we are making this point, ultimately where we will land up with respect to either it will be an assets, it will be a liabilities, or it will be an equity. Is it somewhere we will come across either in terms of inventory, we are coming across in terms of receivables, we are coming across in terms of cash. In terms of liabilities, will come across in terms of payables. Somewhere we will land up, okay? Somewhere we will end up, as simple as that. That is the process of covering the procedures with respect to the internal controls. What we are doing in information system, we are talking about the classes of transactions. Classes of transactions, the same thing, is it? You are talking in terms of assets, whether it is a non-current assets, whether it is a current assets. Here we are talking about in terms of liabilities, whether it is a non-current liability, it is a current liability. Whether it is a revenue, it is cost of goods, sales, whether it is going to be expenses. We are classifying the class of in the entities operation that are significant for financial statements. The entire story revolve around these things. I can say the entire story will revolve around within the elements of accounting, or we can say within the conceptual financial accounting framework. The conceptual financial, the entire thing. If you understand that pyramid, you can understand the every other concept of accounting. The procedure, when we are doing the information systems, is it right? The procedures within both the IT, information technology, and manual systems. We are using now. If we are talking, see, every firm will have their customized software. Okay, every company will have their customized software, by which what happens, everything. Now you are going to say that we are just scanning with a barcode reader. Is that you are scanning with a barcode reader? Is it? Once you scan with the barcode reader, as a matter of fact, the entire financial statements will get updated. Purchase, your inventory will decrease, your sales will increase, your profits will there, your automatically what will happen, immediately your the inventory will get affected. Is that if it is going to be on credit, your receivables will get affected. Is it right? It will, your revenue will be adjusted, your cash will be adjusted. Is that your cash, as per the thing, the procedure within both IT and manual system by which transactions are initiated, recorded, processed, corrected, transferred to where we are doing this, to the general ledger first and subsequently to the financial statements. We don't know what happening at the back end. We don't know what happening at the back end. But when we are talking about the software, IT, information technology, automatically we are building the software in such a case that a simple scanning of the product will get the financial statements updated. In this process, we think it's a simple process, but in this process, at every stage, whether it is inventory, whether receivables, whether revenue, whether cash, in all the cases, we have to make sure that there should be internal controls, and there should be not only internal controls, but there should be an effective internal controls. Now that is what it says. If you are talking nowadays, we are talking about the IT audit. Is it the audit through information technology? What happens? When you are talking the audit through information technology, we are working with relating records. We are taking the supporting information. We are talking about the specific accounts in the financial statements. Is that somebody is that somebody will prepare, somebody will approve, somebody will verify, somebody will approve, somebody will authorize. Sometimes approve and authorization will be by the same person. Is it? Now what happens? This is, see, now if you take you take your own job, okay, you are taking, I am preparing, I will prepare and automatically I will save it. The moment I save it, the process will go to the verification. The persons will verify. They said okay. The process will go to the approval. Once it is approval, automatically it will go to the specific person. In simple way of explaining, you are making an online payment. You are making an online payment. When you are making an online payment, what are the internal controls you will have? You are using your debit card. You are using your debit card. When you are using the debit card, you provide all the information. Is it right? You provide all the information. You will also provide CVC. Is it? You will also provide CVC. Once you are all, there is not the end. Is it right? Once upon a time, there is not the end. Okay. Now, once you are providing the CVC, immediately what I'll say, they will ask the virtual signature. They will ask that captcha. Okay. You have to enter that. This is the verification code. Okay. They will put in one box and they will say yes, you have to enter. Once you are entering, what will happen? You will have an OTP. These are the internal controls basically. Once you have an OTP, they will say that this OTP is valid for 60 seconds. And it will be given for your registered mobile number. Once you are getting it, automatically you enter the OTP, then the process will work. Again, you will get the message whether you have initiated this transaction or not. If you have not initiated this transaction, you have to report it back. This is, if you start from a simple process from here to here till the end, it is at every stage they are having controls, and those controls are effective controls. Those controls are effective controls. We are going to cover this with respect to any goods received. Is it goods received? We are going to take into consideration whenever we make sales, goods delivered. When you are receiving the goods, there is procedures will be there. When you are delivering the goods, there will be a procedures will be there. That much we are going to work out. We have to take the situation, we have to take the scenario, and we have to work according to the situation and scenario. Everything will be updated. You see the things. I will say you are using some courier. Is it right? You are using some courier from Aramax. You are using receiving the courier from DHL. What they will do? They will come with that electronic kiosk is there. Is that electronic gadget is there? They will ask you to put your signature there. Is that? They will ask you, they have a tracking system is there. Is it right? They have the tracking system. You are sending some courier to some place, you have the tracking number, you can track that, where it has been done, where it has been reached, when it has been reached, it has been delivered or not. This is what we are talking about, the information. People are using this technological advantage to the extent possible. You are sending money to somebody else. You are sending, first they will get registered. They will take all the documents and they will verify your documents and they will get registered. Once you have get registered, automatically you can track when, where it has been reached, when it has been delivered, when it has been credited, the amount has been credited. At each and every stage, whether it has been acknowledged or it has not been acknowledged. These are all the things that is part of information systems. Automatically it has been delivered, it will get updated. The auditor must understand the system, including the following. You should understand how the system will work. Then only our audit process will be more interesting and more specific. We are up to the task. How the information capture events. Is that how the information capture event? You have a barcode. Everywhere you see the things. Everywhere we are using a barcode. We are capturing the events, as simple as that. Is that we are capturing the events with the help of barcode, unique code. You have to understand how they are capturing the events and conditions other than transactions that are significant to financial statements. Is that you should, what you are doing? You are the moment you see the barcode will have complete information. Complete information. Barcode is not like only we are talking about the amount, price, no. Barcode will have a complete, your debit card. The moment you are swiping your debit card will have the complete, your name, your account number, your debit card number, everything, all the details will be there. That is where you, as an auditor, you should understand the system, how it will work. And most important, you should also understand how the preparation of financial statements. How the financial statements are prepared. You have events at different locations. Is that you have your outlets at different locations. Once you have the different location, you are making integration. You are talking about the SAP. Yeah, you are using the software. Is that you are using the software? You are using the customized software. When you are using the software, what will happen? Every other department. Understand, one? Every other department will be updated, and it not only updated on a real-time basis, on online as well as on the real-time basis. Immediately it will get updated. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way. When you are talking about the auditor should understand. Yes, these things has been happening. The financial reporting process used to prepare the entity financial statement, including any estimates we are preparing, and most importantly the disclosures. Most importantly, disclosure means whatever we are working it out, we have to disclose it appropriately. Control surrounding. Now you see the thing. Control surrounding general entries, including non-standard general entries, used to record non-recurring, unusual transactions or adjustments. There are two things are there, is that? There are two things are there. One, we are talking about general entries, including non-standard general. What is the non-standard general entry? See, you are talking in terms of sales. When you say sales, what you will write? You will say that bank is the debit and sales is the credit. Is that? It's not only sales. You will have sales returns. You have some damaged goods. Is it? You have some damaged goods, some unusual transaction. The normal transactions, okay, but if there are some unusual transactions, which has been, sometimes what will happen, there will be some exchanges will be there. You are making the sales, but there will be a sales returns. In the sales returns, what will happen? Keep it in mind. I will come up with this at some other stage. It is there. What you are doing, you are giving a credit invoice. You will give a credit invoice. What? It is nothing but credit voucher you will give. You will not return the amount. You will give credit invoice for any returns. Is it? For any returns, you will give a credit invoice. That is the exchange voucher. Exchange voucher, we will call it as a credit invoice. For those things, whether we have incorporated the measures in the financial systems or not. Is it? These are the things which are going to cover at a later stage in detail. Is it? These are the means everywhere you are selling you will sell, and they say very clearly what they say, that if you want to exchange, they will write very specifically, goods will be exchanged within 7 days. Automatically, once 7 days are over, the transaction will be closed. It is controlled. They say that goods will be exchanged, cash will not be returned back. They say that cash will not be given, only you can exchange. If you want to return it, you can take back the goods only. You cannot take back cash. It is a control. Yeah, these things are happening on a daily basis. These things are going to be addressed, and these things are going to be identified with respect to auditors' responsibilities. Is it right? I will cover this one and I will stop there. Okay, I will cover this one. And what are the control or activities? Those policies and procedures helps to ensure that management directives are carried out. I can put it very clearly, management instructions. Why we are having internal controls? We want to prevent, we want to detect, and we want to correct errors. This we have covered in lecture 5. This we have covered in lecture 5. That is what we always see. First and foremost, you have to prevent. Is that first and foremost you have to prevent. Second, we have to detect. First you have to make a preventive measure, then you have to detect, and the last one is you have to make a correction to those errors. What are the things that when you are talking about what are the controls, you are talking about the controls with respect to authorization. Who is authorized, who is not authorized. We will come across in the question answers, we will say that a sales supervisor, a salesman has given approval for discounts. Is that a salesman has given approval for discount? Salesman is not authorized to give discounts. That is the deficiency. Then you have to give recommendation that any discounts should be given by the sales manager. They will say that the purchase clerk has placed the order. In the question answer is very clearly given. The purchase clerk has placed the. Clerk is not authorized to place any orders. They have placed the orders which are not in the listed suppliers. He is not a listed supplier. You have placed that is the deficiency, and you have to give recommendation to that deficiency. These are the repeated, customized scenarios which you are going to come across in most of the questions. Is it? In most of the questions. We are taking in terms of authorization control. We will see what are the performance reviews. Is it? What is the performance reviews? What happens this year? What happens with the previous month? We are also taking into consideration how the information processing takes place. We are taking adequate backups are there. We are talking about the application controls. Passwords has been changed or not. Is it? How frequently the passwords has been changed, how frequently the users has been intimated, how the instructions has been communicated. These are all things we are talking. We are not only, apart from that, you will have physical controls. Physical controls is nothing but in terms of the assets when we are moving from one place to another place. Cash comes in physical controls. How we are handling the cash. When you are handling the cash, what are the measures you have to take? When somebody will collect the cash, somebody will deposit the cash, somebody will verify the cash. How the process is verified. And apart from that, we have done again and again segregation of duties. Yes, segregation. If you work on these 5, we can easily solve any question. Yeah, we have concept authorization, it will be there, performance reviews, how the processing data, information processing, physical controls, assets, and most importantly, segregation of duties. Is it okay? We will stop here. Is it right? When we'll come back,